Wish that you were better.
What's going on, guys? Hope everyone is doing well. We are officially live for today's masterclass. Let me just double check on my phone that everything is working properly, and we'll jump right in. Cool. It looks like we are officially live, guys. If you are joining us live, definitely make sure to drop a 1 in the comments if you can hear me, if you can see me, and also comment #live below. Before we officially dive in, let me just go ahead and send this link to my team so that we can send a blast out and let people know that we are live. Cool. If you're hopping on, guys, drop a 1 below. Show some love in the comments. Definitely gonna be a value-packed Facebook Live today. Really excited to go over some of the strategies that I would use if I were starting over again to land my first client. And today I'm going to talk really specifically about the first 5 steps that you need to take in order to land your first client. And as you guys know, we've scaled our marketing agency past multiple 7 figures. My business partners in our coaching program have scaled their marketing agencies past 7 figures. We have over 50 people in our program that have scaled past 100K a month. And we know what we're talking about when it comes to helping people start and scale marketing agencies. So today, what I wanted to do is share some of the strategies that I would use if I was actually starting over again. And some of you guys may not know this, but I actually launched a new agency in the personal injury attorney space about a year ago. And we did it as a test to show you guys that we truly believe in our methods and that we truly stand behind everything that we teach. And we were able to scale that marketing agency to about 50K per month in 6 weeks. I think we did 50K in 6 weeks. And what's crazy is that we did this without social proof. We did this without really any experience in the niche. And I'm going to share what we did with you guys so that you can go out there and do the same thing. Now, keep in mind, we did have experience building agencies. We do have experience doing sales, doing marketing, running ads, et cetera, et cetera. And we also had a lot of capital to invest. So I think we invested about 11K in order to make back 50K. And we put that into advertising. So there were some competitive advantages there. But either way, today, I want to share with you guys what I would do in the first 5 steps I would take to land my first agency client and really to get started. If you guys are ready to go, drop some 1s below, show some love in the comments, and I'm going to just jump right in. I don't have too much time today. I think I have about 20 to 30 minutes. So I'm going to just share my screen, jump right in. Hopefully you guys stay till the end, and hopefully you guys find some value here. So with that in mind, let me share my screen. Hopefully you guys can see it. Cool. How to land first agency client from scratch. 5 simple steps. Zoom in on this. Hopefully you guys can see it. Maybe I have to zoom in a little bit more. Okay. Step 1. We got to work on this thing right here. If you don't know what to expect when it comes to how to go about growing a business and how to go about getting started, you're going to set yourself up to fail. So one of the biggest things that holds people back at the beginning is their lack of belief in themselves and really just a lot of faulty beliefs and patterns that they play in their minds. So first step we got to work on is mindset. How do we do that? Well, we actually do bullets. First things first, at the beginning, it's really, 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 really tempting to overcomplicate the crap out of everything. Especially when everything is new. You want to try so many different things. You have so much to learn. There's so much to try to figure out, and it's very easy to overcomplicate things. So the very first thing that I would do is really try to tell myself to keep things as simple as possible. Really, 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 really try to dumb things down. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what that looks like in just a second. But this is the first step. Second step. At the very beginning, it's really, really easy to get sucked into shiny object syndrome and want to change things up, want to start all over again in a brand new niche. It's really tempting to try to do something new as soon as something that you're trying to do isn't working. So it's really, really important to destroy this and focus on the right things. This is really, really, really important. At the beginning, it's very tempting to want to have a plan B, to want to change things up, because what happens is we have uncertainty that plan A will work out and that the first thing we're committing to is going to work out. So then we create backup plans for ourselves to try to create a sense of security. But ultimately, what happens is you get stretched too thin and it's impossible to have 3 different plans in place. And then you never end up executing to the degree of effort that you need to in order to actually crush it. So what I actually want to say is you have to go all in at the beginning. Can't be split focus. Most people focus on the wrong things at the beginning. Guys, just to put things into perspective, we did over $10 million in sales before I ever even had a freaking website. Didn't have a freaking website. Let that sink in. I did not have a website. We did 8 figures without a freaking website. I'm literally building the website right now because I think it's getting to the point where we should get one for sure. But the point is, most people at the beginning focus on the wrong things that give them a sense of progress, give them a sense of forward momentum, but it's a false sense of progress and a false sense of momentum. For example, going out and designing your logo for 3 days or building a website for a week is a terrible use of your time at the beginning when your time is your most valuable asset, given that you don't have financial resources at the beginning. So you have to focus on the right things. For all of you guys at the beginning, for every single one of you guys, if you are just getting started with your agency, it comes down to setting appointments and closing appointments. Literally it. You're telling me, hey, Joel, what do I focus on? Setting appointments, closing appointments. That is the only thing that you should be focused on. A really good way to make sure that you are focusing on the right things is asking yourself, am I moving closer to a sale? The answer is yes. Keep going. The answer is no. Stop what you're doing. Make sure you are moving closer to a sale. This is really important, guys. And again, this is the first step because most people get this wrong and then they spend months focusing on the wrong things or changing niches once a week or overcomplicating things and getting overwhelmed, and then they never actually make progress. At the beginning, one of the biggest roadblocks is actually yourself and the way that you've done things for a long time, and you have to really change your approach to how you do things. So you have to really only focus on getting in front of business owners and then selling them your services, and that is literally the only thing that matters. Once you get a client, if you're not sure what to do, I would highly recommend hiring a marketing agency to white label for you, or a white label marketing agency. And if you do know how to get clients results, then at that point, once you have clients, you can focus on getting clients amazing results. But most of you guys are focused on getting clients amazing results, before you have clients. It's ridiculous. You guys are focusing on impressing people with a website before you have anyone to actually impress. And it's just going to be much more powerful for you guys if you can get these basics right. If you can get these basics and these foundational principles right, everything else is going to be easier. Okay, next up. Most people at the beginning, when they're launching their agency or their business, they expect things to be easy. And then what happens is things get extremely overwhelming, because that's part of the game. It's going to be really overwhelming, especially at the beginning, especially when there's so many things to figure out, especially when there's so many balls for you to juggle in the air. And what you have to do at the beginning is you have to lean into the overwhelm. The more that you can accept the discomfort, the more that you can accept the overwhelm as part of the process, the easier it is for you to get through it. I always say this, most people try to go around challenges. I believe you should go through them. The way to do that is by leaning into the overwhelm. This is really important at the beginning. There's absolutely no way that it's going to be easy. Unless you've been doing this for a few years, unless you have a lot of money to invest into ads, unless you're very, very good at sales and you have sold before for agency services, it's going to be really hard for you to just do this without any overwhelm. Otherwise, especially at the beginning, it's going to be very, very overwhelming. And this is where most people either stop going all in or really stop being extremely committed and start to fade away. And this is exactly when you need to lean in. What happens when you tell yourself you're going to launch a new business? You get really excited. You get started. You get really excited and you feel really good. You've made a huge decision to change your life, and your sense of self is really, really high. And then what happens is things get really hard, and at that point, most people start to fade away along with the excitement. And this is exactly when you need to lean in even more and just accept it as part of the process. It's almost like, say you're trying to lose weight. For example, you're trying to lose weight. If you have never gone to the gym, if you have never eaten healthy, if you have never worked on your emotional ability to control your external decisions, it's going to be really, 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 really hard at first. But once you do it for 2 to 3 or 4 weeks or 5 weeks or 6 weeks or even 2 to 3, 4, 5, 6 months, it's going to get easier. At first, it's going to be extremely overwhelming because there's just so much chaos to your system that's been pretty stable before this. So you have to absolutely lean in and accept it as part of the process. Okay, last thing here. You have to be reactive at the beginning. One of my favorite entrepreneurs of all time, he consults for Agora, and he wrote the book Ready, Fire, Aim. whole idea is that you have to take action, then you reevaluate and figure out where to go next, as opposed to reevaluating and planning and strategizing before you take action. At the beginning, action must come first, always. Then reevaluate, then re-strategize, then determine if it worked or not. You absolutely must follow this rule like your life depends on it. Action first, reevaluate second. It can't be the other way around. You can't wait for the perfect strategy, the perfect script, perfect blah, 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 and then you take action. Otherwise, at the beginning, you'll never end up taking action. That's the first step, guys. Getting your mind right. Step number 2. Step number 2, I would pick a niche. I've said this now probably 1,000 times, but this is absolutely crucial. I would pick a niche. And niches that I actually like saturated niches. I really like big niches. The reason why is because niche is saturated. That means that there's money to be made. And that means that there are big players that are making it work. Now, instead of trying to figure out how to make this weird niche that no one's ever been in work, instead, what you have to figure out in a saturated niche is how can you just be a little bit better than everyone else? How can I just be a little bit better than everyone else? That's the focus. And if the niche is saturated, that means that there's money, it's proven to work. You know that it can be done. So then instead of having to figure out this weird niche that you have no idea how to do because no one's ever been in it, all you have to figure out is how to be just a little bit better than everyone else. So I really like saturated niches that are proven to work. I also like big niches that have a lot of people. A really good question to ask myself is, are there other 7-figure marketing agency owners in that niche? The answer is yes. That's really good news because that tells us that there's money to be made in that niche. And I'll say this, it's going to be hard regardless, right? If you go into a untapped niche, it's going to be hard because you are not going to have any help. There's no one else in that niche. You're going to have to pioneer how to get them results. There's a lot of unknowns that you may not be able to control. You go into a tapped niche, a saturated niche, it's going to be hard. It forces you to be better in order to win. That's fine. That's even better because you can control that. And you know that it's proven to work. So there are way less unknowns. For example, when we went into the chiropractic niche, we were the first ones to figure out how to get prepaid appointments for them. We were one of the first to do performance-based marketing for them. We were one of the first to guarantee results. So we just figured out small ways to be better than everyone else, and that's why we took off. So these are the things that I'm thinking about when picking a niche. And that's really the second step. You have to pick a niche. I like saturated niches that are proven to work. I like big niches that have a lot of people. And I used to recommend going into some weird niches that no one else had gone into, but it's not. It's really hard. Like the chances of success are way lower unless you're really, really, really good at marketing and you know how to get those people results. Otherwise, it's going to be really, really hard. So for most of you guys just starting out, unless you have some crazy unique tactic to get a weird niche, crazy results, I would stay away. One of the biggest benefits of this business model, of the online marketing agency model, that it is proven to work. You're not trying to change the world by reinventing a new model that's never been done before. It's proven. That's one of the benefits. And if you go into a niche that isn't proven, you're essentially getting very little upside with a lot more downside. And you're not able to leverage this benefit right here. So that's step 2, guys. And once you're in the niche, by the way, highly recommend, highly, highly, highly recommend that you do research and really get to know your niche. For example, I started out, I invited doctors out to lunch, and I spent like maybe a total of 10 hours in person with doctors to get to know their practice, how it worked, their treatments, everything that I really needed to know, what they cared about outside of work, what their biggest pain points were, what their biggest desires were. We also did, we went to in-person networking events to really just get to know these people. There's also other things that you guys can do, like offering to pay to interview people. No one's going to say no to that. You can also just ask, hey, I'm doing some research, would love to interview you. There's going to be no sales pitch. Really just about getting to know people in your niche and what they care about, what their pain points are, what their desires are. That's the second step. Step number 3. I would scrape a list of everyone in my niche. Or let's just start with at least with 100 people in my niche. So let's say that we went with gyms. Let's say gyms was the niche that we picked. What I want you guys to do is scrape, or actually, you're going to find 100 gyms, going to scrape their email address, Instagram page, Facebook page, and phone number. And at the end of it, you should have 100 gyms Facebook page, ID page, and phone number. Very simple. This is how it would start. Eventually, you want to scrape all of them. Scrape every gym. But we're going to start 100 just to keep things really, really simple. Again, remember what I said. Very easy to overcomplicate things at the beginning. It's very easy not to take action and to want everything to be perfect. I would rather you guys scrape 100 than wait for a month and finally scrape all gyms, all like 30,000 gyms. So just start with 100. Just take that first step. There's a few ways to do this. You can use tools like Google Maps, email extractor, can use tools like D7, Lead Kahuna, Local Scraper. Those are all different tools that allow you to scrape. Since you're only doing 100, if it's really, since you're only doing 100, you could literally just manually do it. You can pay a virtual assistant to do it. But again, guys, like you can literally look up gyms, Denver. Okay, this one, website. I got their Instagram page. Boom. I got their Facebook page. Boom. I got, let me get their email. Boom. Need their phone number. Okay, we're done. One down, 99 to go. You guys could do this in a freaking day. Very simple. You guys can also pay someone to do this for you. There's people that offer lead scraping services. All right, that's a second step or a third step. The reason why it's a third step is because, well, we want to be able to reach out to these people. Once we have a niche, we need to find the people to reach out to. Very simple. Fourth step. Start reaching out. I could do a whole training on this. I could do literally a whole course on outreach and prospecting, but I'm going to try to keep it as simple as possible for you guys. I would set up one free channel and one paid channel. Grab a sip of the coffee, one sec. I would set up one free channel, one paid channel. Here's how I would do it. Actually, you know what? I'm going to dumb it down even more for you guys. Let's keep it really simple. Really simple. Now that we have the 100 people reach out to, I'm going to message them on every platform and follow up with them for the whole month. I'm going to take scripts and the follow-ups and send them on Facebook, Instagram, and email. I know that if you manually text people, I believe it depends on the state whether you're allowed to do text outreach one by one. You can't blast it out to more than one person without their permission. I know that's against the law, but I think you may be able to text one by one depending on the state. I would absolutely recommend doing your research and getting actual legal counsel before you do that. That being said, if you do your research and you find out you can text them, you could also literally text them the script. So now you're sending them the message on Facebook, Instagram, email, and text. For example, Facebook, message. Well, it's not loading, but normally it should work. There it is. You can message them right here. You could literally message them right here. You're going to do the same thing on Instagram, email. You guys know how to send an email. I'm not going to waste time doing that, especially because I'm running out of time here. So that's what I would do. I would get 100 people to reach out to. I'm going to message them on every platform and follow up with them for a whole month. Those are my 100 prospects for the month. Those are my 100 people that I want to work with for this month. And I'm going to send them those follow-ups and those messages everywhere. Now, I got a little bonus surprise for you guys. Let me just stop sharing for a sec. If I was starting out from scratch, let me just grab this. I'm going to hook you guys up with my follow-ups and my script. Just finish sharing. One sec. Just got to share. Okay. Guys, I'm going to hook you guys up with the script right now. I told you guys for anyone that shows up, you would get cold email script that would work to reach out. And so I'm going to hook you guys up. Once you have the 100 people to reach out to, you're going to message them on every platform. And I know I just said to follow up with them for the whole month. You can also do this for the week and then rinse and repeat and do 100 people per week. I would say start with 100 people per month. But once you get the hang of this, you can do even more. You could do 200. You can do 100 people per week, honestly. Scrape 100 gyms or whatever people in your niche. Send them a message on every platform. Follow up with them for that whole week. Okay, here's the script. Since you're starting out, I highly recommend you personalize it to increase your chances of success with cold outreach. Cold outreach is already hard enough, so might as well personalize it and increase your chances of success. You're going to personalize the first name. So I would probably take some time to figure out who owns this club. If you can't figure out the name of the owner, just say, hey, low, high, athletic club, or whatever you want to call it. You're going to personalize the first two sentences. And you have to actually find something unique about them. This I just made up. This is not true about them. You would have to literally go and find something unique about them. The more personal, the better. And you're going to personalize the first two sentences. And then you're going to offer them, or you're going to do the offer. Here's the offer. I would love to partner with you on a free trial where I will run your ads, get you booked appointments, and help you turn those appointments into paying members. There's no catch. Just cover the ad spend. I'm doing this because I believe in getting results first and earning your business for a long-term partnership. If you're interested, reply with a quick yes and your best number, and we can connect. You're essentially offering a free trial, which I'll get to in just a sec. And I'll get to why I believe that is the most valuable thing to do when you're just starting out to get your first client. Do I believe in free trials long-term? No. If I had to land my first client ever from scratch, I would absolutely recommend it. So this is the script. Highly recommend that you A and B test multiple scripts. I also recommend that you take the framework and innovate on them. Copy and pasting scripts almost never works. Again, almost never works. Use this as a starting point. Use this script as inspiration and as a basic guideline. Very, 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 very important. freaking highlight this. If you guys want more info on DMs and outreach, I have a whole 10K agency course, and I do a whole 1 hour training on scripts. Let me see if I can actually find it for you guys. Should be able to find it. All right, here it is. I have a whole video on scripts that you guys can watch if you want. Just dropped it below. And then you're going to follow up with them. Day 1. Day 2. Again, guys, this is not copy and paste. If you literally copy and pasted this, I wrote these for realtors. So if you copy and pasted this, like this is talking about closings for realtors. So you have to please make sure to not copy and paste them. 3, 4, 5, 6. This is fine. This is good enough. Honestly, you could just do this all week and then you can reset every Monday. So this is what you're going to send out. That's step number 4. Start reaching out. Step number 5. And then we're done because I got to go. Get your first trial client. And most importantly, experience. Hardest part at the beginning, the hardest part at the beginning is that you do not have experience. This is the hardest part for you. And why would someone work for you if you don't have testimonials, if you don't have reviews, and if you don't have experience? They shouldn't. Why would they want to? That's not how business works. Why would someone want to work with someone that doesn't have experience to back it up? So really what we're trying to do here is, instead of trying to find this weird shortcut to land clients without experience, we actually just want to get experience, and we want to make that process as fast as humanly possible. So instead of asking, how can I get a client without experience, we ask, how can I get experience as fast as possible so that I can get clients? So what you guys are going to want to do is get a few trials and get that experience so that you can start closing clients. Now, a few things to keep in mind with the trials. Let me see, one sec. I'm going to give you guys some really, really good stuff right now on things to keep in mind with the trials if you are going to do a trial. And then I got to go, guys, unfortunately. Share my screen. Okay, here we go. Once you guys get the free trial and they want to do it, here's what you want to do. First things first, they cover ad spend. Make sure that they cover ad spend. You do not cover ad spend. That's what we said in the script. Just cover the ad spend. Second, if they have a list of an email list or a phone number list, run a reactivation campaign. If you don't know how to do that, I can set up a whole separate training for you guys. I don't have time to go over it today. It would take way too long. But if they already have a list, run a reactivation campaign for quick wins. Also, Ask for as much this is a huge hack. Ask for as much ad spend as humanly possible. Even if it's a 3-day trial, I would rather you guys get $1,000 for the 3-day trial than $100. You just 10x your chances of success. Always, 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 always ask for something in exchange for the trial. What I recommend is asking for testimonial videos. It's like, hey, would you be willing to give an honest testimonial video based on the results after the trial, even if you decide not to work with us? Most people would say yes. You're doing free work for them. And this is how we get experience, guys. This is how we get social proof. This is how we get people to want to work with us without having to speak to a reference. Because after you've done 10 trials, you'll have experience and you'll be actually a lot better at getting people results. And there was no risk to them. You did it for free. So it's a win-win. It was ethical. You did it with integrity. If you crush it, they got it for free. And if you don't crush it, well, you told them it was a free trial. That's what trials are for. Also, keep in mind, you want to either do a very short trial with a specific timeline, 48 to 72 hours, or a specific result trial, like 5 appointments booked or 10 leads or 20 leads. The reason for this is because we want to have a certain boundary around the trial. We don't want it to go on too long, and we don't want it to be so that they can get these crazy results and then now they just walk away because they got so many amazing results for free. Next up, after the 72 hours or after you hit the specific result, let them know that you'll automatically get started unless they reach out to cancel. This is huge. If they're getting good results, they're not going to want to cancel. So this is, like I said, one of the best ways to get a few clients. Because even if you get 10 trials, worst case scenario, you walk away with 10 testimonial videos and way more experience. And now you're ready to get a client. And more realistically, a few of those will actually turn into paying clients. You also want to have their credit card on file so that after the 72 hours or after you get the specific result, like 20 leads or 5 booked appointments, you can run their card unless they reach out to cancel. If that's the case, you can't do that. And then last but not least, guys, and then I got to go, the 2-option close. Just because someone is doing a trial doesn't mean you can't try to close them for the trial. You can lead in with a trial and start the conversation, get them to do a trial. Still try to get them to sign up without the trial once you guys are on the sales call. Here's how we do that. We call it a 2-option close. We say option 1, I do the free trial. After the 72 hours, you want to keep going. It's, let's say, $2,000 a month plus ad spend. Or option 2, we get started right now. I'll give you a lifetime 50% discount. We can get you onboarded for $1,000 a month. Which option sounds best to you? So you can still try to close them by just making option 1 more expensive if they do the trial, which makes sense. If they do the trial and they want to keep moving forward, You took on the risk, not them. So therefore, because you took on the risk and not them, if they want to keep going, they should be willing to pay more for it. If it's risk-free, there should be some sort of consequence, like getting them to pay more for your services. This makes sense, guys. And look, if they want to do option one, then you honor it. And honestly, here's one last golden nugget. Let's say they take option one. If after the 72 hours they're like, oh, I'm not sure, you can always still try to get them in for $1,000 a month. Which brings me to my last piece on here, creative financing. At the beginning, I would rather you guys have 20 clients paying you $500 a month and one client paying you $5,000 a month. Now, this sounds crazy, but this will allow you to get way more experience, more referrals, more social proof, more momentum, et cetera, et cetera. The key thing here, guys, is be willing to negotiate and be willing to get creative with the financing. Up until $50K per month, we let people work with us on $500 a month for the first month. And it went up. But we just wanted to get people in. So we would rather get people to do a $500 a month the first month. And then if they want to keep going after that, it's $2,500, rather than not letting anyone in and being extremely picky. You haven't earned the right to be picky with your clients. If you've been doing this for 3 years and you have amazing results, then you have the right to be picky as you want to be. But right now, if you guys are just starting out, you don't even have a client, you have to make it easier for people to work with you until you get experience, until you build momentum, until you have social proof. So that's pretty much it, guys. Hopefully you guys found that valuable. If you did, drop some ones below. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a post. I'm going to drop a post right after this asking if you guys want the Google Doc. If you guys want it, comment below. My team will reach out to you, and it'll include the scripts as well. So I'm about to drop a post in the group in just a little bit. Make sure to look out for that comment. My team will reach out to you with the Google Doc and with the scripts. And we'll talk really, really soon. Much love, guys. Have a great weekend, and